Wondered how some of the biggest tyrants in history, Joseph Stalin and Adolf Hitler, raised their status to possess all the necessary qualities to be in power? Well, you are soon to find out. Through the use of deception, seducing outsiders, censorship, and ethical morality. Animal Farm by George Orwell and Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury both explore how gaining more authority and privileges leads to egocentrism and selfishness, which are characteristics of developing tyrants and just unpolitical leaders. The composers of these texts use corrupt dictatorial ideologies of propaganda, greed, and imbalance of power to exercise broad control over federals and providing a sense of ironic serenity to the leader possessing this trait. Animal Farm is a story based on allegory about a group of animals who rebel against their farmers only to exploit power and manipulate animals into believing everything the pigs say because of their renounced superiority. Similarly, Fahrenheit 451 is a text where firefighters burn books to apparently protect the community, where secondary in charge Guy Montag transforms from book-burning fireman to a book-reading rebel. The setting of events were revolved around societal disobedience and Montag's flashbacks. These texts create fear for individuals to advocate their voice and challenge power-corrupted leaders for sense of morality, which, if not done so, can give these leaders confidence to take initiative of opportunities to seize control. One depiction of power and corruption is the use of censorship. Censorship is the suppression of speech, communication, and other information about general sensitive topics. This often presents itself through taking advantage of minority and how manipulative and deceiving strategies impact the outcome of spreading messages with power. Affecting freedom of speech, increased leaders' power, and failure to execute symbolic messages are the challenges associated with societal awareness of power and corruption. The thematic nature of text exploring censorship consists of changing regulations discussed without notice. This is evident in Animal Farm, where the leader Napoleon changes the seven commandments from all animals are equal to but all animals are more equal than others. This paradoxical, ironical statement reinforces the idea that the ideals of creating the farm as described by Old Major will never come to life. Rather, it has become an excuse for the abuse of power and has resulted in a political system that is worse than the farm that was established by the human master, Mr. Jones. This also shows how Napoleon takes advantage of how animals are illiterate to exploit the seven commandments into suiting the pig's desires and establishes a mood of serenity and confusion of the animals being overpowered, which have become ethical morals. This questions the belief that power tends to corrupt through principled philosophies of reputation. With the additional utilization of indirect censorship, we are able to depict the issues of power and corruption. Text exploring divergent issues by similar perspective of literary and contemporary highlights the corruption notions of power. In Fahrenheit 451, Betty and Montag's crew are set in the school hall, educating students about how books and how they apparently impact society. In this scene, the use of mise-en-scene reflects on Beatty and Montag oscillating internal dissonance between their constitute of morals against their life conjecture of having to burn books to censor ownership and existence of books. This allows composers to outline deceptive techniques to outmaneuver the children's mind and how books run society, impending that idea onto them, causing them to believe books are bad to influence the statutory nature of power they uphold. Animal Farm and Fahrenheit 451 convey how censorship can affect the general sequence of how power tends to corrupt through the beliefs of superiority complex and protecting you from something bad. Power and corruption is also displayed through propaganda. Propaganda particularly joins the biased and misleading information to advance a new set of political issues or perspective. Some examples of this in modern day society include media, commercial advertising, bargaining, and legal affiliations. In Animal Farm, propaganda is used from the perspective of when pigs began to walk on their hind legs. This caused the pigs to renounce the commandment from 4 legs good, 2 legs bad into 4 legs good, 2 legs better. This provided immediate contraband in the philosophy of animalism and how two legs bad was given to a human to describe their differences. The establishment of propaganda demonstrates the dissemination of information and how it's always changing. On the other hand, Fahrenheit 451 explores how old woman and ill has a library of books in her house, which causes the firefighters to burn her house down. Propaganda here is falsely reporting to the woman that she didn't say ominous to mislead society into something much better that could potentially take over power. This scene profoundly tends to really complete the firefighters' view of their job and how their power is doing nothing but allowing society to deal with their mistakes. Consequently, it led to Montag to turn away from this power and follow his model. Paradox challenges our presumptions that do all people follow what's obligated or by which is ethically moral. This reveals the contradictory nature of power and corruption, where characters become inconsistent with their moral values for social validation and protection and to avoid being ridiculed for siding with the minorities or people against. Therefore, Animal Farm and George Orwell and Fahrenheit 451 explore power and corruption through the notions of power tends to corrupt and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Through the themes of propaganda and censorship, which questions the ethical morality of oppressive leaders and their ways of conducting society. Thank you very much.